Well, first, I want to wish Jeff White's mother a happy 90th birthday, I believe. So he's not here. Usually he gets the first question, but we're going to give the first question to a very distinguished person in the room. David Teal, I want to congratulate you first. Bach told me coming down. I think Skeeter Francis, it's the Skeeter Francis Award that you're going to get. I didn't know Skeeter, but you did. But congratulations for your years of service and all that. So you better ask a good question. Since Jeff White's watching, listening, he's wondering, but congrats to you sincerely.
Well, happy birthday to Mrs. White as well. Could you have scripted, considering all your fourth years contributed today, could you have scripted a better senior day?
It was wonderful, and it's kind of uncanny. I go back to Thomas Rogers knocking down a 3 against Syracuse when we won our first regular season championship, and then to see Chase do that and those guys to play like that and do the job, and to be able to kind of go. And Louisville wouldn't go away. They started getting downhill in the paint, and they fought, but no, it was special with what's at stake. And we just kept talking about, don't get distracted. Just keep trying to get good shots and defend. And so happy for everyone, because everyone's a part of this. In a league, David, that there's 20 games. In this league, there's so much parity. And I know we shared it with whoever it'll be, but you got to last. And again, I think the league is better than a lot of people give it respect or say it is. And to be able to be one of those teams that, after 20 games and to get a championship, I'm very thankful, and that's a result certainly of these young men. And again, that's a goal that you want to get, and they'll get to have that put on a banner.
Tony, is there a sense of relief in terms of the way you shot the ball, just that's not hanging over the guys going to Greensboro?
Yeah, I think we ran good offense. It's not like we lit it up from 3, but we're moving harder, got some good looks, and made some free throws. And so, yeah, you want to try to play good, tough ball. I thought we got a lift from everyone for the most part. And, it was about trying to get this game. And now it turns to ACC conference tournament play and being as ready as you can. But I think the last 2 games were a step in the right direction. And I think it started at North Carolina, the effort that was given. The result wasn't there, but I thought we gave the right kind of tenacity, or played with the right kind of tenacity, and then just made some adjustments, but touched on what needed to be touched on, and we can't let go of that.
Tony, the season high 25 assists on 29 field goals. Just what did you see in the ball movement today? Particularly Reese, 11 assists, 0 turnovers.
Yeah, well, Louisville was, they did a lot of things. They guarded a straight-up man, then they switched all the positions and a few of the positions, and then they mixed in some three-quarter court press with some zones. So, you had to be sharp. It first caught us off guard a little bit, or we were staying a little bit, but, guys were pinpointing their passes, running good stuff, and just enough big baskets. But, when we can share the ball and have that kind of assist-to-turnover ratio, good things are usually going to happen.
Yeah, Tony, given where y'all were last week coming off UNC, you talk about that second half and showing the energy, but just to kind of have the 2 bounce-back wins, a good win against Clemson and then a convincing win against Louisville today, just how does that make you feel going into next week?
Yeah, I think I don't get too caught up in anything, but, enjoy this, practice hard whenever we practice, and pursue quality. I think the distractions, maybe I made an error before the Boston College game. I said, listen, you're in a race, you can win a conference championship. And, well, no kidding. I think all these guys know that. You look at the thing, and it's if you play with the quality that's needed on both ends and guys come together, the results will always take care of themselves. And when you start thinking, well, okay, if we get this game, do that, and you guys have been around me long enough to know it, we're process-oriented and trying to be qualitative over quantitative. And I think you just said, whatever happens, let's pursue it the right way. And again, I think the guys have had some convincing, or played solid, good basketball the last 2 games, and now I don't know who we'll match up with, but it's another kind of season, so to speak, with the conference tournament and then, of course, the NCAA tournament. And it's good to say that, because last year we didn't get to say that. So,
Coach, Ryan obviously brings a lot to the floor
Yeah.
defensively. He's had 19 points in the last 2 games on just 8 field goal attempts. What have you seen from him on that side of the ball?
Yeah, well, he's so active, and sometimes it always doesn't show alternate shot, but it was great to see him. You throw it up, he's going to get it, and beautiful when he caught that one in the middle lane and bounced up, and just that that's more to come with that. I think as the years progress, but he's getting a little more confident, playing a few more consistent minutes, and again, he can do a few things athletically that probably he's our most live-bodied guy in terms of quick reflexes and can guard different spots. We put him in to play the perimeter, and because Mike James was taking it at us, and he didn't really. I don't know if that matchup occurred when Ryan was in there at the end, but certainly has given us a lift. And yep, that's good. Any extra points we can get from him is great.
Tony, is Jaden normally so emotional? Because, boy, the tears flowed there pregame.
It matters to all, but that's a passionate young man. I remember when, he decided he was leaving East Carolina, and he's like, I want to try to be a part of a program. They were in close games but didn't have success the way he had hoped. He had scored a lot of points. He had a pretty accomplished career for sure, but he wanted to play in this league and have a chance to win a championship, a conference championship, get into the NCAA tournament, and for him to see that, and he puts his work in, and he's got such a huge heart, and he tries hard, and I love it. He's a trier, and he's gifted, and he's a great teammate. So I'm thankful he and Armand decided that year to come here, and but to see that, I was a little bit like, okay, how's he going to respond? That's always like, you can be a blubbering mess, or you can, and he played fine and battled, and I knew he would. I think he had something in his eye, he told me. That's all it was, so.
Tony, obviously, technically, I guess Kihei wasn't out there for a super senior day recognition earlier, but kind of a perfect combo here. He gets 6 assists in his last game here, and he helps to hold L. Ellis to, 3 of 12 after the game he had when you guys played in Louisville. What does that say, just that, his last game, to have those two things? He may not score a lot of points, but dishing the ball well and D'ing up.
I thought his last 2 floor games were terrific and important how he played. And I knew he'd want that challenge because, Ellis and James are so hard to keep out of the lane. They're the real deal. And I thought he was locked in as he was against Clemson and spreading out. Second half, we got to look at that and see what happened to, our defense there. But the way he finished. And again, I didn't know he was coming back. This time last year, I don't know what our last senior game was, but I assumed he was probably gone. So I'm so glad he made that decision, as I mentioned, on the floor. And you think of what he's done. I mean, I was looking at that ball and think of, him and Poppy, 3 regular season conference championships. And, that's it's pretty cool. And obviously his opportunities he's had besides that. So what a cool way to go out of JPJ, and meaningful how he had to play and what he did. And his parents weren't here, and even I thought it was neat that he said, I did that last year. I'm just let me step on the side, and he didn't know we were going to do that with the ball if we had won, so it was good.
What's most rewarding about taking a team that I think finished 6th in the ACC last year to, share the league title with essentially the same nucleus, Jaden, Kihei, Reese, Armand, and where did you see them grow the most since then?
Yeah, they all just tried to work really hard. I think, going to Italy, coming together and say, how can we improve individually in our games, collectively? They've been very coachable. And then, the additions of, I think, Ryan and IMAC, those guys have just given us enough. And Ben, those 3, sorry, I was thinking of Ben but all 3 of those have given us a little more depth and experience. And I didn't know what to expect with Isaac and Ryan being first years, but they've stepped into some good opportunities and battled. And so, no, I think it's rewarding for those guys, and that's why they should feel good about it. And then, okay, now we're on to the next. But it's hard to do, as I mentioned, in a 20-game league that's, I think, a lot of parity.
Tony, we're going to be asked to pick the All-ACC defensive team. In your mind, when you think about Reese and Kihei, is it hard to separate what they do defensively on the floor? They're such a good tandem.
Yeah, I mean, we play a team kind of defense, but those 2 are so important for us. When they're locked in and right, and they're keeping the ball in front and using their strengths, that's so significant for us. And so, they're tandem, but they also do different things. So, like I said, I think that has kept us in games at times when we've been struggling. Those 2 just, with their defense, been able to hold us in there. But, they work at it, and it's an important part of our program. And so it's good to see them. I hope they'll get honored for that and all that. That's up to you guys, I think. So.